Okay, so it's time for an upgrade to my Legion Go, which is one of my most used handhelds that I own, other than the Android one that I just recently got, the Conquer Pocket Fit, which I use them fairly, the same, fairly much the same. But the biggest issue with this Lenovo Legion Go is these controllers, which suck balls. Um, the D-pad is terrible. Analog sticks are all right. Buttons are okay, but the start and select placement sucks. And I don't mind the trackpad; it's not the best, not the worst, but there's a few issues with these stock controllers. But then you have the Lenovo Legion Go 2 controllers, which are normally too big for the tablet, but there's a workaround for that, so I decided to buy these, and they're fucking expensive, but not as expensive as buying the Legion Go 2. So we're going to see, because I have SteamOS on here, we're going to see if this will work out of the box without needing a firmware update, because if I do need a firmware update, you have to do it through Windows. At least as far as I'm aware, unless there's some weird way of doing it on Linux or something. I don't want to have to install Windows just to update, because you have to use Lenovo's software. I wonder if you can actually, probably not. No, there'll be no way to do that that I can think of. All right, so we got rid of the old controllers. Now we're going to unbox the new controllers, and we're going to turn this off. And I am going to unbox the new controllers and put them on. I have a solution for the gap. It's coming in the mail. I also have a 3D printed thing that I have a 3D printer, so I printed a solution, but they're not as good as the ones you buy. You can't buy the ones that I basically got. So here's the two controllers, and I should have brought it. Oh, it's right here, so that's okay. And good thing is I have my wireless mic, so I can walk away from the camera and talk without sounding like I'm coming out of a cave. I don't know. So we are going to open up on camera the Legion Go controllers that I purchased. They said they're kind of expensive, but again, it's a lot cheaper than buying the Legion Go 2, which honestly, the Legion Go 1 performs perfectly fine for me. The screen is amazing, even though it's not OLED. And the only thing I would love to have is new controllers. The sides. Don't buy these on Amazon, by the way. They ship the same controller no matter what you buy. They ship, like, what is it, the right or the left? They ship two of them. So if you buy them, I bought them from Lenovo's website, and they shipped. I have the Steam controller coming today as well, and the Lenovo, I bought these after I bought the Steam controller. Lenovo shipped faster than Valve here for that. I have to take this off. Woohoo! Oh yeah, these feel so much better. Button, yeah, but I think the button was a little bit tight when I first pressed it, so it went. But so far, liking these a lot more. Side buttons feel like they press easier. Oh, that might be because I have that thing on it to make it so that your hands don't cramp up. Because that was annoying. It was very uncomfortable, and I needed that grip on the side to put on it to make it usable. And now we are opening up the other side. Let me fold this down. Oh, what else is in here? So I do believe they give you something. Yeah, they give you the puck thing, so you can use it as a mouse. I'm never going to use that. So now I have two of them that I'm not going to use. So there's that. And then they give you, what is this? Oh, this is a cover for the side, so when you use this in mouse mode, you won't be touching the pogo pins. But whatever. And they give you the instruction manual. All right, so we got that one open, and that's everything for the right controller. And now we're opening up the left controller. I think that might be the only thing that's in here, except the manual. There's another manual. So you get two manuals. I wish they would just send them as a 2-pack. So you just open one box, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And here we are with the second controller. Oh my god, that feels so much better than the original, just in the hand at least now. Probably the analog stick I don't care for too much. It's a little cheap feeling. The D-pad is more like a Sega Genesis D-pad. That's another issue I had with the originals. So that's the controller, and let's compare this to the originals. And the originals, let's see, they look to be a little bit thinner, maybe. I put these. Let's see if there are any. I might like the analog sticks stock better because these are a little slippery. But the ones I had on this controller, it cracked. Like the top of it cracked. So I put these on there specifically because of that. So the rubber is better. I like it better. But as far as the, as far as the yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But these are, I forget if these are TMR or they, I think they're Hall Effect. Yeah, they're Hall Effect sticks and triggers. I believe they're all both that. And you could pop these off and swap them out if you want. Stuff. But yeah, that D-pad is way better than this weird cross D-pad. I avoided playing any games that required a D-pad when I had this, so now I'm going to put this aside. You can still use these, like, if you want, for like maybe a second player, or for some reason, any reason you want to like use them separately or whatever. But we get these out of here. And now we'll bring in the tablet. Making a mess out of my table over here, but whatever. Now you're going to see that these look ridiculous on the side of this without anything. Once I add these, once I put them in, if I can. As you see, it has this Batarang look, which I will fix again. Because I can't take that look there, but like I said, I got a solution for that, and I will put the other one on. I mean, the other solution on. But yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this off camera for a second. Yeah, that's way better. But I could see why somebody might want. They make a these types of grip. What do we call these again? They make something like this thing here. This for this, and I could see why somebody might want it. It's a little. It's kind of small in my hands when I grip it, but I don't think it will be too big of a problem. But it's definitely not going to be what it was on the originals. They definitely feel a lot better. I think the trackpad is actually smaller, though. That's the only thing I don't really care for. Yeah, the trackpad is definitely smaller by quite a bit. So if you wanted a bigger trackpad, that's not so cool. I do like the fact that there's a... Well, I guess it's because the trackpad is smaller, but you have less... This part here, there's this little lip. If you wanted a skin or something, I skinned this, and then this little tiny piece would always just come off, and I gave up on skins. But I kind of like the way this looks, so I don't think I'm going to skin it. So, but if you want to use a skin, it probably just based on this little tiny thing here, that's going to be easier to do. Although it is more curved, so skins could be harder to put on in that case. But if you get it just right, the skins always never, I can never get them on right. But anyway, so let's see if this actually works on SteamOS. Let me reach around this thing and hopefully not. Ah, it's working. Good. We are working. And everything seems to work just fine on SteamOS. It detects the controllers. Yeah, buttons are all working. This you have to enable, I believe, in the settings. Let me see about start and select. Let's see. Start. Yep, start. That's good. I'm enjoying that. And then we have the two side panels there. And then what does this do? Anything? Oh, it takes a screenshot. What does this do? Is that the screenshot or? Okay, so that's the screenshot button. I don't know what that does, but yeah, this definitely feels better, but I feel like it could be a little bit, like there could be a little more to grab onto on the back, for me at least. Now, I can, I keep pressing, oh, I was there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to actually go and get something real quick. Right here. Hopefully I didn't break up when I was talking because I turned around. But we have here these these pieces I printed. Now, if you want to put these on, you have to actually you have to glue them on, and that's why I don't really care for them. But let's see, will it stand up properly? Yes, even though it has that gap, it does stand. But you know, you take something like this and you kind of, let me see if I can. I was thinking about doing a very temporary glue, something that's easy to remove. But yeah, it would look kind of like that when you fill in the gaps. So it would be less stupid looking. But that's that. So now I got to see if these LEDs are going to work in SteamOS and all that. So thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, just ask in the comments. So I just started using this, and I guess I'm not done yet because I was playing with it, and I'm going to get the bed out of the way, which something might be a little annoying. You can't change the RGB. On the Legion Go 2, you can actually go into the SteamOS settings and adjust the RGB. This does not have that option. And I tried using the plugin to control the RGB, and that only works when they're disconnected. So you're kind of stuck with, if you don't like this, that's going to be what you get, and you also can't turn it off. So unfortunately, that's a thing. The other thing is I can't get the gyro to work in the settings. It seems to detect it, but when I try to use it, it doesn't seem to work. Granted, I always turned it off anyways because it always worked like shit to me. But I was hoping the gyro would work and well, but it didn't. So I could not get that to work. So that's two negatives there that I can think of right now. If I come back with something, I'll come back. I'll do it. I'll tell you or whatever. Anyway, so the couple things that I noticed while using this was, even if this isn't lighter, it felt lighter. Like, it felt a lot lighter than the Legion Go did with the original controllers on it. I don't know if it's actually lighter or if it just feels that way. It still feels heavy. I'm going to say it feels light. It feels heavy, but lighter. So all the controls are working, except that gyro. If something happens, if I figure it out, I'll put it in the comments, but that's now working. Oh, I was also able to put my toppers or whatever from the Legion Go 1 controllers onto the Legion Go 2, and that worked fine, which is good. And yeah, all the trackpad and everything works. And now I have two extra buttons. One is set to screenshot, and the other one brings up a keyboard, which is really nice. The haptics on these controllers are way better than the Legion Go 1. The Legion Go 1 just felt like it was trying to please my girlfriend, and this actually feels like real haptics. Um, so that's nice. See, I mentioned the D-pad's going to be way better. Just in general, it's a more comfortably used experience. I was playing Call of Duty. You can play like older Call of Duty games. I have Cold War. That was where I was trying to get the trackpad to work. You can't use like mouse trackpad. You can only use like the left if you're going to use the controller, or you have to like set up a whole mouse and keyboard thing to get that working. But you know, then chances are I'm going to get my ass completely handed to me playing with mouse and keyboard players. Um, so yeah. Anyways, that's that. So I played Black Ops Cold War, and I played Diablo for a little bit. I had the trackpad set up so to make things easier to select, and yeah, the controls work great. So, like I said, the haptics are way better. I'm I love the haptics on it. They're not the best I've ever felt. It's just they're way better than the original. It just felt like it was vibrating for the sake of vibrating. That stupid mouse and keyboard setting they have where you take the controller off and you use it as a mouse, FPS mode. That worked. That worked just fine. There was something with it. It came with this piece that I have right here, and you put on there, and covers that thing. And I don't really use that. I never have room for that. It's a handheld. I'm like keep holding it in my hand for the most part, but it did work. Also tried separate, holding the controllers separately in my hand. So this is more of a hardware thing, but I held the controllers separately. They all connect fine. And unlike the Legion Go 1 controllers, the Legion Go 2 controllers didn't just roll over in my hands and become impossible to use that way. So I was actually able to play the games with the controller separated without problems. So that's another improvement. Oh, what else? I mean, in general, they're just way better. They're more comfortable. They work. I mean, you might have better luck with compatibility like the RGB or something if you're on like Bazzite or CashOS handheld or whatever. But for me, this is SteamOS, and SteamOS doesn't have these kind of little things available for these different devices. Whereas something like Bazzite, they have that companion app or whatever that is that you pull up and you can swap your buttons around and all this other stuff and change RGB, and that stuff is great. You don't have that on SteamOS, but that's a thing. And yeah, so I mean, there's just like some things that are specific to the Legion Go 2, the specific thing that don't show up on the Legion Go 1, like I mentioned, the RGB and all. And I don't know what else. Is there something else? I feel like I wanted to mention something, and I don't have it. So I guess that's it. If I think of something, I'll put it in the comments. And thank you for watching.